always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Well, hello. Greetings, people of Earth and the known universe. You're listening to Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast, and I'm your host, Keith. So, well, I've got some great entertainment news for you today, so let's get into it. Oh, yeah. Starting off, Jennifer Lopez shows off her curves in a mirror selfie. And yes, folks, I've seen this picture. It's nice. If you've missed Jennifer, J-Lo, she's definitely back and she looks great. Yeah. She looks good. She went on Instagram, and posted on her gallery. It's just one of her best photos. It's a picture of her. She has, like a silver, dress on, and she's taking a picture. She's looking to the right, to side profile, and it accentuates her very nicely. So that's all I got. Just, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she's like, 48? Yeah, she looks amazing. Yeah. I think she'll be 49 this year. Yeah. But you could not tell by looking at her. She does not look middle-aged at all. So shout out to Miss Lopez for doing her thing. Kendrick Lamar, people. Yes. One of our favorite MCs, Kendrick Lamar. Album Damn, Pulitzer Prize winning recently. Great news. We already talked about that last week. So he and his fiance went on vacation to celebrate his, winning the Pulitzer Prize. So you'll never guess where they went for vacation. You never think in a million years that a rapper would choose this spot for vacation. But I'm glad that he did. Kendrick definitely likes to push the envelope and just dare to be different, and he does it effortlessly. Tongue-tied. Sorry, you get what I was saying. Effortlessly. There you go. He and his fiance went vacationing in Vatican City. Yeah, and there's pictures of them hanging around, walking around, sightseeing, eating with family and friends, having a good time. I think that's nice. I think that's very cool. Very cool that he wanted to go to Rome, basically. And Kendrick talks about religion in his on his new album, his latest record, and he's talked about God, a lot in different records. So we know he's a spiritual type of person. So I think it's cool. But you just, it's just. Once again, you go from being a rapper, getting a Pulitzer Prize, to being a rapper who vacations in the Vatican. So that's different. I don't think we would have heard of this, or this would have been done 20 or 30 years ago. So good for him. They seem to have it. They're having a good time. There's pictures you can see online of them walking around, eating, and just taking, having fun. So, and the weather looks beautiful. So I need to hang out and check out the Vatican myself one of these days. So, and one of Kendrick's good friends, Rihanna, she went on Twitter and so she gave a good congratulations to Kendrick. He's been the first non-classical non-jazz act to win the Pulitzer Prize for music. So on this past Saturday, he got a big congrats. Let me read to you Rihanna's message. And when you see her Twitter post, it's really cool. It's cute. It's a cartoon picture of her and Kendrick. And Kendrick is looking like, Bruce Lee with his stance, shirtless with a chain and black sweatpants on. And she puts, it's a cartoon, it's a drawn image, and it's cool. Rihanna has something in her mouth that she's smoking. And it says, And like I say, and Kendrick's in his Kung Fu pose, and it says, "Congrats to my boy Kung Fu Kenny on making history and winning such a prestigious award like the Pulitzer. Keep showing the kids that anything is possible, man." At Kendrick Lamar. It's a real cute picture. I like it. It's cool. Kung Fu Kenny. I love that. For those of you who don't know, if you pick up the album "Damn" from Kendrick Lamar, he references himself as Kung Fu Kenny throughout the album, and so does Kid Capri. So it's a cool little nickname. I'm not mad at you. I like that. Kung Fu Keith. See, that sounds great, but I can't do it because you're already Kung Fu Kenny. So no copycatting. So you beat me to it, Mr. Lamar. You beat me to it. Oh well. Yeah, Kung Fu Kenny. So yeah, it's really cool. Rihanna and Kendrick previously they collaborated on "Loyalty" off of his album "Damn." So if you didn't know that, they have a great track together. And Rihanna has also been recently teasing whether or not she's got a new project coming out on Instagram. Her last album, her 8th studio album, "Anti," went multi-platinum in 2016. So we look forward to her having a new record and another collaboration with Kung Fu Kenny. So we'll see what comes next in that regard. Tristan Thompson, yes, Cleveland's bad boy from the Cavaliers, reportedly cheated on Khloe Kardashian by DMing girls on Instagram. So, okay, that's news. I guess we're supposed to be surprised that that's how it went down, but I'm not. That sounds about right. Yeah, direct messaging girls on Instagram. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that's probably the modus operandi for a lot of people. But I love how when there's ever any negative press on a famous celebrity, especially in America, somehow people find like the worst picture of that person, and it suits the article. There's a talent. I don't know if someone's getting hired to do that all day. I don't know if they're photoshopping and making a different picture. Like when you go to the supermarket and you see the tabloid magazines at the end of the aisle, and they always have these crazy covers and these really bad pictures of famous people looking like, it's like pictures that these people would not have taken, in real life. Maybe sometimes they did. Maybe they did. I don't know. But there's a picture of Tristan Thompson, with his Cavaliers uniform on, and he's got his left arm waved up and the right one down, and he's looking like he's got that W2F look, like. So they chose that one. It says the pro baller used social media to enact his infidelity. Sources reveal that Tristan Thompson used Instagram direct message feature to get in contact with women he eventually cheated on Khloe Kardashian with. Tristan slides into girls' DMs, the source admits. He messages girls that way on Instagram and then meets up with them. He likes exotic or non-American looking girls with big butts. This is what's been reported. Thompson's infidelity was revealed just days before his girlfriend was set to give birth to their first daughter, True. That happened. So that was a bad look, definitely. So, and no one knows whether or not Tristan and Khloe are still together, if they're going to make it work, or if they've split up. Has she moved back to LA? Is she in Cleveland? Still waiting to find out. So, there it is. But it says it's been stated that Thompson has expressed remorse over his actions. Allegedly asking Khloe to give him another chance to prove his devotion to her and their newborn. So we'll see how that story winds up and where it ends. Kanye West, y'all. Kanye West. Keeping Up With Kanye is back, people. It is back. So, what has Mr. West been up to? Apparently, there's some mysterious street artist who's putting up posters, and they say hashtag Kanye 2024 all over New York City, Chicago, and LA. So I wonder who this person is putting up these posters. And yes, I've gone online and I've seen these posters. So they're appearing, all throughout different locations of Chicago, New York City, and Los Angeles. This past Monday. In fact, Kanye himself tweeted out the photo of the posters with the confused/thinking emoji Monday afternoon, but then he quickly deleted it. However, this isn't the work of Kanye. It's, allegedly a street artist. But we haven't been given a name yet. So it's really interesting. But the posters, some of them look good. Let's see. There's one poster says "Keep America Great," and it's got Kanye's face, and underneath it hashtag Kanye 2024. Yeah, they're on the sidewalks, on the back of the thing where you get the was it metal or steel stand that holds the newspaper on the sidewalk. You put the money in, you pull it out, and pull down the lever and get the paper. Yeah, it's on one of those boxes. I see that picture. And Kanye looks kind of mean in this mug. It's like a mean mug of him. So he's not looking too happy in this picture. So, one picture is like, him looking like the cool rapper. Another picture looks like a mean mug shot. So it's interesting. But they definitely say keep America great. So, Kanye. I mean, what do we... what can we say about Kanye? So the mysterious artist reportedly stated in the statement that Kanye West tore a hole in the fabric of reality this weekend by recognizing the wisdom of YouTuber Candace Owens in the most prolific, unfiltered way possible via Twitter. Donald Trump has proved to all Americans that clarity of vision and the ability to persuade are much stronger assets for a president than political experience. Kanye appears to get this more than anyone else out there. Candace Owens is fighting for individual sovereignty, self-responsibility, and being recognized by Kanye as a watershed moment for this country. We don't know if Kanye wants to be president. Trump has proved that it creates a huge amount of enemies, but recognizing universal cultural truths is something that cultural icons are better at than politicians. It's how they build success. Okay. I mean, of course, these posters came after Kanye tweeted out over the weekend that he admires controversial conservative YouTuber Candace Owens, who's known for bashing the Black Lives Matter movement. While the posters aren't real or any confirmation of Kanye's running for presidency, they have been popping up across various cities this week. So, okay, yeah, President Trump didn't have political experience and he's president. That's true. A rapper for president? I mean, anything is possible. Do you want Kanye? Will he unite the nation or divide it? Just stick around, for keeping up with Kanye. It's on. It's back on. So we'll see. That's crazy. Alan Samak, people. If you used to watch Smallville, the TV series, the hit TV series in CW that was on for 10 years, Allison Mack played reporter and best friend to Clark Kent, who later on in the future became Superman, Chloe Sullivan. She was great on the show, great actress. Loved that TV series. 10 years long, people. Probably the longest running superhero TV series ever. Allison Mack and the story of the NXIVM, inside the alleged sex slavery ring. She's been accused of turning women into recruiters for their master. Yeah. I mean, I was surprised when I saw this. I did not see this coming. Allison Mack. She's got that beautiful girl next door look. So after 10 seasons of Smallville, Allison found herself a little adrift. Having played a journalist, the truth seeker, for almost her entire adult life. She was 28 years old and felt not quite sure where she was going or who she was. So she states, I think that was probably the most bumpy transition. She said this in March of 2017. And when she was asked how she managed to navigate that change in her life, she said, I have a wonderful teacher and mentor named Keith Rainier, who really gave me some incredible guidance. Yes. So he's a Keith, but he's not me. So just saying, he's not me. Don't know this guy. She was appearing in a play called Red Velvet at San Diego's Old Globe Theater. And she ran into Rainier there. I think everyone needs a mentor. I don't think any of us really know the answers without a little bit of wisdom. If you're willing to be humble enough to seek wisdom from other people, I think you're missing a lot of really incredible opportunities to build a certain amount of depth and value in your life that you wouldn't have if you didn't have somebody to help guide you. I chose to have this mentor in my life, and I was talking to him about my struggle, confusion, and not knowing what to do. He said, why don't you take some time and think about giving yourself some space to figure out who you are now? So that's what I did. At the time, maybe that just sounded like a glowing praise. Now, in hindsight, it may sound more like indoctrination. Allison was arrested last week on federal sex trafficking charges, accused of recruiting women for a sex slavery ring by Rainier, Raniere, who was arrested last month near Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Mexican and American authorities have tracked him to a $10,000 a week villa inside a luxurious gated community. According to authorities, the women he was living with sped after the agents as they left with him in their car. Apparently reluctant to let Rainier, he called the Vanguard. I guess apparently this seems like this is probably a typo. So apparently they were reluctant to leave him. So the federal criminal complaint filed against him as the leader of the Albany, New York-based NXIVM, pronounced Nexum, like the heartburn medication. Since 2003, Rainier maintained a rotating group of 15 to 20 women with whom he maintains sexual relationships. We'll talk some more about this after this break.
Want to find out what movies to go see? Then check out the GSMC Movie Podcast. It's your ticket to the latest movies, whether it's a new blockbuster event, romantic, comedy, or action flick. This show has got it all covered. They talk some what to go see now, don't bother, what's hot on Netflix, and everything in between. That's GSMCpodcast.com/movie-podcast. When it's all about the movies, it has to be this new show. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
Hey, what's going on, folks? Once again, you're listening to Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast. I'm your host, Keith. And we were talking about Allison Mack getting arrested for contributing allegedly to a sex ring. So, and the leader, Keith Rainier. So, as I was stating, he maintained a rotating group of 15 to 20 women with whom he maintained sexual relationships with. These women are not permitted to have sexual relationships with anyone but Rainier, or to discuss with others their relationship with Rainier. Some of the Nexum? Yeah, Nexum's curriculum included teachings about the need for men to have multiple sexual partners and the need for women to be monogamous. When the women were also submitted to a branding ritual in which a symbol integrating Rainier's initials was seared into their skin near their pubic region, the complaint further alleged. Wow. I mean, what do you say to that? That's just really creepy and wrong. Wow. You're branding women. Yeah. Wow. So, he's definitely been arrested, and, we'll see what happens with that case. Just did not see any of that coming, especially with Allison Mack. Did not see that, but it's a crazy world we're living in. So enough. I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. I'm still like in shock just talking about that on the entertainment news. Sarah Jessica Parker from Sex and the City, folks. Yes, more news. Is ready to redefine her feud with Kim Cattrall. She quotes, "There is no cat fight." So, so both actresses have traded quotes, about one another since Parker expressed her condolences for the death of Cattrall's brother, Christopher, back in February. But there's been a public disagreement about their interest in making a possible Sex and the City 3 movie. But according to Sarah Jessica Parker, they're not involved in a full-on feud, according to what she says. So, I'd just like to remind everybody that there is no cat fight. Sarah Jessica Parker is currently on a new TV series called Divorce. So she mentioned this in a recent interview. I have never uttered an unkind, unsupportive, unfriendly word, so I would love to redefine it. I've always held Kim's work in high regard and always appreciative of her contributions. If she chooses not to do the third movie, there is not a lot I can do to change her mind, and we must respect it. That's the only thing I've ever said about it, Regarding the possibility of a third Sex and the City movie, which Cattrall has said she has moved on from, Parker noted, the three of us, Parker and fellow Sex and the City co-stars Kristen Davis and Cynthia Nixon, have shared our disappointment that we're not making that movie, not just on our behalf, but our crew, but also just the people that have been vocal about wanting to see it. But we still live in a free country where people get to make choices, and sometimes the answer is no. And the only way to respond for me is to respect that. She added, noting, the possibility remains that the project could be revisited and reimagined in the future. But there is no cat fight. There never has been a cat fight, Parker continued. I've never fought with someone publicly in my life, nor would I. And I spent time with all of the women on the set. People need to recall that it wasn't just two women on the set fighting, because that just never happened. We are enormously proud of what we got to do. We spent 10 to 12 years of our life doing something that I really loved, and I feel privileged to be part of. And I don't want this to eclipse it or change its experience for that audience that was so good to us for so long. I mean, that was said very nicely. Sarah Jessica Parker also opened up about her former co-star, Cynthia Nixon, who announced that she's running for governor of New York. So, noting that she's been trying to follow the campaign closely as much as I can read, given my work schedule. Cynthia and I have been friends since we were 11 years old. That says a lot. That's pretty cool. I mean, how many of us have friends still left over from elementary school? So I can respect that. I think that's nice. She's one of the smartest women I've ever met, Parker said of her co-star, who is challenging sitting Governor Andrew Cuomo. She's formidable, and she will work incredibly hard, and this will be a really, really interesting and exciting time for New York voters. She will look for opportunities where I can be supportive of her. I will, but my aim is to do no harm. You want to be informed. It's important that I understand her policy, her positions on policy. Yes, definitely. I agree. So yes, in a nutshell, Sarah Jessica Parker states that there is no real feud. There is no fight. I've got nothing but love for Kim Cattrall. From what we've seen, Kim Cattrall has stated publicly that she doesn't feel that way. So that's a she said situation. And Cynthia Nixon, the redheaded lady on Sex and the City, is running for governor. So that is an exciting time. So, I'm curious to see how that's going to turn out. So, yeah. Katy Perry says that she's spoken for. This is all amid the rumors about her ex Orlando Bloom and her reconciling. So this past Monday with Katy Perry and American Idol, she may have said something. So the topic of dating came up, and on whether the judges would ever date a contestant. So, At that point, Perry popped in with what seemed like a clue about her current love life, saying, "No, I'm sorry, I've been spoken for and speak for myself," and adding, "and I'm very happy." You're spoken for right now? Zima clarified, to which Perry replied, "Yeah, girl, of course I am." "Are you a Mrs. Broom?" Zima asked, referring to an Instagram story Perry posted earlier on Monday, holding up a picture of her former / maybe current flame, holding a broom, captioned Orlando Broom. "No, I'm not a Mrs. Broom," Perry responded before winking at the camera, leading Richie to chime in, "Whoa, that took a turn." So this isn't the first sign of a possibly rekindled romance between the couple, who split February of last year, 2017, following a year of dating. Last month, the singer left a flirty comment on a shirtless Instagram photo the 41-year-old actor shared, writing, "Oh, hey, I was actually looking for a washboard to do my laundry on." That is flattering, though, right? So, meanwhile, in February, a source told Entertainment Tonight that the former couple was giving their romance a second chance. So, so we'll see where that goes. There's hints, but no real confirmation, at least not yet. So, but we'll see what next week brings in that regard. Katy Perry, Orlando Bloom back. Who knows? Gwyneth Paltrow flashes her new engagement ring and a lot of leg at the Avengers premiere. So yeah, I didn't even know that Gwyneth Paltrow was engaged. So yeah, entertainment news. Here we go. She showed up for the Avengers Infinity Wars on the red carpet on Monday. So by the way, that's going to be coming out. The soft release of that is tomorrow night. The nationwide release is Friday, the 27th. So I'm excited about seeing that film. And yeah, she plays Pepper Potts, so she's in the movie. So she showed up looking good in a retrofit mini dress and Jimmy Choo heels, showcased her impressive physique. So she's 45 years old now, and I guess she had a really nice leggy look with her giant sapphire engagement ring from fiance Brad Falchuk. She first debuted it at the 2018 Producers Guild Awards in January. So, nothing like a family reunion, hashtag Infinity War, Paltrow captioned. It's a pic of herself on the carpet that she shared on Instagram. So the new Infinity Wars film, Avengers Infinity Wars, will star Robert Downey Jr., of course, as Iron Man, Chris Evans as Captain America, Chris Pratt, who is the Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy, Mark Ruffalo's the Hulk, Scarlett Johansson is Black Widow, Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther, and many more. So it's going to be fun to watch. So yeah, definitely looking forward to watching that film. But apparently, I guess Gwyneth has more than one engagement ring. She has a gold ring with Falchuk's initials on it in place of her sapphire sparkler. So I guess she's been, switching it up for what she's been wearing to show people that she's getting married. So that's cool. So congratulations, Miss Paltrow. All the best to you and Mr. Brad Falchuk. So, and James Corden from The Late Late Show has brought back his carpool karaoke with the best of and new episodes. Christina Aguilera joined him for a second annual special. And, Miss Christina, she belted out some of her biggest hits. And she also taught Corden how to pull off one of her famed vocal phrases. And she also dissed on some gossip, some decades-old gossip. So, in between some really amazing renditions of her hit song, Fighter and Genie in a Bottle, the 37-year-old also answered some of Corden's questions about her time as a Mouseketeer, right? I keep forgetting that she was a Mouseketeer in the Mickey Mouse Club alongside Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake, and yes, folks, wait for it, Ryan Gosling was a Mouseketeer. I mean, when you see the picture of him, he looked like one, but you look at him now, you're like, there's no way that guy was a Mouseketeer. Not with the type of films that he's done and the crazy, awesome, offbeat roles he's played. Not this guy, but yeah, he was a Musketeer. And even at that age, could you? And so James, he he baits Christina. He's like, even then, at that age, could you find yourself get lost in Ryan Gosling's eyes? And Christina says, I think they were crushes, but I wasn't on that train. She also. So then James Corden pressed on. He's like, well, instead of a crush, so he says. He wants to know more about about what crushes took place on that set, And he asked her basically, well, did she have a crush on Justin? And Christina got flustered. And she spoke louder than a coherent sentence ever could have. I think, there was like me and Brittany where, there was like a thing back then. She rambled on, trying to figure out how to best avoid any possible delicate topics. Oh my God, you're going in. Ultimately, Aguilera simply said, it was a good time. So are we saying Timberlake was the main dude in the Mickey Mouse Club? Corden asked. She states he had swag, I have to say. She said, even back then he had swag. Yeah, okay. As for Gosling, the pop star said that while many girls had a crush on him, his heart was reserved for one castmate in particular. I know Ryan he did have a crush on Britney. She quickly admitted. I think so. I don't know. She must be regretting that, Corden quipped. No, she got Justin. Aguilera argued. They were like a big old couple. Corden says, oh yeah, you're right. That worked out wonderfully. It worked out wonderfully for everybody. Yeah, that was pretty funny when I saw that. So James Corden's at it again, carpool karaoke, and you got more than you bargained for. But Christina Aguilera, sitting alongside you, riding that car, singing. So, and more entertainment news after this break.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Once again, everyone, you're listening to Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast. I'm your host, Keith, and we were just talking about carpool karaoke and Christina Aguilera, and some more entertainment news for you. Dana Carvey, famous for being a comedian on Saturday Night Live for quite a few years, Church Chat, that's the church lady he's also known for playing Garth from Wayne's World. Very funny guy. One of his most popular segments on Saturday Night Live, besides Church Lady and Church Chat, was when he played George Bush. So he impersonated George Herbert Walker Bush for a number of years on Saturday Night Live. And he says he still had a great relationship with the president, the 44th U.S. president. The 62-year-old comedian was a guest on Monday's Conan, and he talked about spending time with Bush and his wife, President Bush and Barbara Bush, who just died last week at 92. May she rest in peace. While The Late Show was taping, Carvey and host Conan O'Brien heard that the 93-year-old former politician was hospitalized for a blood infection. So yeah, that had to be stunning. We had so many warm moments Carby recalled. It was a different time. It wasn't scorched earth, angry politics. Yes, George Herbert Walker Bush had a great sense of humor, or has a great sense of humor. He did meet Dana Carvey, and he did like his impersonations. I remember seeing that on television back in the day. So he was a great sport about the whole thing. Yes, that's true. Carvey said he and his wife were even invited to the White House when Bush was in office. We really hung out with them. He shared, I'd never seen a marriage that was so effortless. They were so much fun together. It's a very nice thing for you to say, Mr. Carvey. Further gushing over George and Barbara Bush, Carvey continued, they did not demonize the other side. It was a different time. I just loved them and wished the best for everybody. That's very nice. That was a very classy thing to say, Mr. Carvey. So, right on. Adam Levine reveals what age he'd support his daughters pursuing singing careers. So yes, Adam Levine, famous lead singer from Maroon 5 and famous original judge of The Voice. So, so he was talking to Entertainment Tonight's Sophie Shalachi on Monday about kids going into show business at an early age. I don't know if I fully support the idea of having little kids on TV singing, Levine told E.T. when asked about judging of voice kids. I never have. I think you shouldn't get to grow. I think you should get to grow up a little bit. A little bit, I'm talking like a little bit before teens. The 39-year-old Maroon 5 rocker got his start in a high school band and revealed what age he does feel comfortable allowing his daughters, Dusty, 1, and Geo, 2 months, to get into show business, noting he doesn't want his kids to go from the sandbox to the stage. Levine added, always encourage people's, your kids' passions. Maybe just not throw them on TV the first chance you get. So, okay, yeah. He added he doesn't want to be an overprotective parent, explaining, I think maybe not literally like 6. That's kind of where I'm thinking where I draw the line. Maybe like 12 at first. So that's fair. Your child's a tween at that point. So Levine and his wife, Bahati Prinsloo, if I'm saying her name right, welcomed their second daughter, Geo, in February. When asked how Prinsloo, 28, felt about her husband's Racy Walt music video, which co-stars actress Alexandra Daddario, Levine responded, B's cool. Okay. So, very cool. Yeah, so, got some fatherly tips from Mr. Levine. So, very cool. Avril Lavigne is back. So, she talks about her new album, and it's her first red carpet appearance in 2 years. So, yeah. The 33-year-old Canadian singer-songwriter who became an early 2000s music icon with hits such as Complicated and Skater Boy, revealed in 2015 that she had been diagnosed with Lyme disease. In December 2016, she announced she is working on a new album, her first since her 2013 self-titled 5th major studio record. So, I had no idea that she was sick. I'm glad that she's doing better, but yeah, that's a serious thing to go through. She walked her first red carpet, or technically it was orange, in 2 years on this past Friday, attending the 25th annual Race to Erase MS Gala at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. So she stated about her new music, saying her album is set to be completed next month and will be released later this year. Quote from Avril Lavigne, "It's a really powerful record," she said. "I've been working on this for 3 years. I can actually say this time I'm going to be done with this album in 2 weeks, and I will put it out this year." So, sounds like a promise, folks. "I've been writing songs that are really just powerful and true and honest and sincere, and I think people will really be able to relate to it," she said. "I've gone through a lot of personal stuff in the past 2 years, and so I've really drawn from that. I always do, but this album is so different. I'm producing too. So that's good. It's more of a vocal record, and just like hearing the lyrics and really hearing the emotion in the vocal, it's very piano driven too. So yeah, you've gone through a lot in the past few years. If you have Lyme disease and you've been dealing with that illness, you have gone through a lot. So I'm very curious to see what that time off has done and where you are now. So yeah, your album does sound intriguing, actually. For the past couple of months, Levine has been posting on Instagram photos of herself in the recording studio. I know my fans have been like waiting for a long time, and some of them are unhappy. They're like, okay, what is going on with this album? She said, but trust me, I'm doing everything I can, and I just want it to be ready and everything to be perfect, and a lot of like care has gone into this. All the waiting and the hard work on my end will pay off, I promise. So we look forward to hearing your new record, Avril Lavigne. So we're glad you're back and in action, and we're glad you seem to be doing well. So we're glad that you're here. So Tracy Morgan proudly tells why Morgan Freeman slapped him over dinner. Yes, folks. I mean, I'm not even making this stuff up. I'm not. So if you missed, Tracy Morgan was on The View recently, and he told a funny story about how running his mouth got him slapped by Morgan Freeman. I was called upon last week, Morgan started, on Monday's episode of The View. I was in the house with my baby. I'm looking at TV, watching the fight, and I got a call from my agent saying, Morgan Freeman wants to have dinner with you tomorrow. And I dropped the phone. Morgan 49 quipped, that's basically God. So he and Freeman met up for dinner. He says he was overcome with energy. I'm so excited. I'm talking a mile a minute. Morgan said before motioning that Freeman, who's 80, slapped him across the face to slow him down. Morgan Freeman is 80 years old? Hold up. Wow. Morgan Freeman does not look like he is in his 80s at all. He looks great. He's 80 years old. Okay. All right. That's like my great-grandfather's age. Wow. He looks good. All right, Mr. Freeman, whatever you're doing, keep up the good work, man. Wow. And when Morgan Freeman, and when Morgan Freeman do this to you, quote from Tracy Morgan, that's love. He laughed. I'm in the books. Morgan was so smitten with his dinner pal that he shared an Instagram from dinner last Wednesday. First meeting, fast friends, Morgan captioned the chummy photo. So, I mean, in the picture, I'm looking at the Instagram picture. It's a nice picture. It's very cool. So more news about Tracy Morgan. So he and Aldous Hodge. Aldous Hodge is the famous actor who played MC Ren in Straight Outta Compton. He was also on Leverage with Timothy Hutton, a good actor. They have joined the cast of Paramount Players' gender-flipping reboot of What Men Want, with Mel Gibson's role in the 2000 original, now in the hands of Taraji P. Henson. The Empire star will play a sports agent who has been constantly boxed out by her male colleagues. When she gains the power to hear men's thoughts, she's able to shift the paradigm to her advantage as she races to sign the NBA's next superstar. Henson also serves as the executive producer on the project with Paramount Players, the studio label run by Brian Robbins, producing alongside Girls Trip filmmaker Will Packer and James Lopez. What Men Want is set to hit theaters January 11, 2019. So that's cool. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Taraji's all over the place, making all kinds of good movies now. She's everywhere. It's her time. So Underground alum Hodge, who appeared with Henson on the big screen in Hidden Figures, will next star opposite Julian Jacobs and Adam Devine in the Disney comedy Magic Camp. So everyone's keeping busy. Good stuff. Kanye West, keeping up with Kanye, y'all, just when you thought it was over. He will be producing the new Nas album. And we've been wondering, like, what's going on with Nas? Need a new album. It's been a few years. What's going on? So apparently, Kanye and Nas finally together, making some music. So there's a nice picture of the two of them. Nas has like a gray pinstripe suit on, the gray tie and shirt. Kanye's clean shaven with the white sports coat on, open collar, and sunglasses. So It says Kanye West's Twitter binge continued unabated through Sunday as he added albums he's produced for Teyana Taylor, Pusha T, and Nas to a schedule that already includes albums from himself and collaboration with Kid Cudi. That's right, folks. Kanye will have a new album out, a 7-song record out in June. And then he's also doing a joint venture with Kid Cudi, all of which will somehow be released in May and June, he says. West was known or reported to be working with many of these artists in recent months. And although he's worked with Nas multiple times in the past 15-odd years, most recently both guested on French Montana's Figure It Out, and West contributed music to Nas' 2016 film, The Land, but a new album was news. I'm hand produced all the albums I tweeted about. Been chopping samples from The Sunken Place, he wrote, referencing a hypnotic state from the film Get Out. He then sent several tweets about how much he loves driving a Tesla car. So the tally so far, one West-helmed album per week for 5 weeks. So Pusha T on May 25th, Kanye West June 1st, Kid C Ghost, that's the new group with him, that's the new group that comprises of him and Kid Cudi, June 8th, which is Kanye West's birthday. Nas with June 15th, and Teyana Taylor June 22nd. And more with Keeping Up with Kanye and some other entertainment news after this break.
Golden State Media Concepts bring you Book Review Podcast, a haven for bookworms of all ages and the widest genres, from mystery to memoirs, romance to comedy, fantasy to sci-fi. If you love to read, this is a podcast for you. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Book Review Podcast.
And we are back. Once again, you're listening to Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast. I'm your host, Keith. And in regards to more Keeping Up with Kanye, so Kanye West's longtime friend, Charlamagne the God, talked about the albums that West is producing and West's mental state on his Brilliant Idiots podcast last week. Quote, he's in a very good space. He's not shying away from discussing mental health, therapy, all that, meds and everything, he said, quickly adding, I don't know that he's on meds because we didn't discuss that. A lot of things we saw Kanye going through, he's like, we kind of laugh at it, not laugh at it. But here's an entertainer, so we don't take it as serious. When he's on stage, singing Jay-Z Don't Send the Killers After Me, that's paranoia. Yeah, it is. He then discussed the effect of the 2016 robbery in which West's wife, Kim Kardashian, was bound and gagged in Paris. That blank was real life. So if you're already going through a whole bunch of crap and that stuff like that happens, and then stuff like that happens, you're getting pushed to the edge. I hope Kanye talks to the press really, really soon. He said he heard both Taylor's phenomenal, really dope album and Pusha T, which he also enthused. West announced his own and the Kid See Ghost album in the middle of a long series of tweets that he says will make up a philosophy book that he's writing on Twitter. I mean, the MC's kept a relatively low profile since canceling the last 21 dates of the 2016 tour in support of his Life of Pablo album after he was hospitalized in Los Angeles for psychiatric evaluation. West's behavior during the tour had been erratic and included several pro-Donald Trump on-stage comments, as well as his abrupt departure from the stage during New York's Panorama Festival when he learned that his wife, Kim Kardashian, had been robbed in Paris. So not much is known about the new album, which he said in March 2016 would be called TurboGrafx 16, after one of my favorite gaming systems when I was a kid, but it seems unlikely that it's still the title, if it ever was. So various reports said he has spent several months recording near Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Much of the material on his recent albums has been recorded at relatively remote locations. And while he has been photographed or reported to be in the studio with Migos, Big Sean, Lil Yachty, Vic Mensa, Mike Dean, Pete Rock, Yasin Bey, aka Mos Def, Pusha T, The Dream, Travis Scott, Dave Chappelle, and others, it's unclear who will be on the album. Okay. So yeah, I mean, we have seen those pictures and photos of Kanye in Wyoming. I'm still very intrigued on why he chose that place as a location to record his new album. So, but yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to hearing what he comes up with. And because, you know, a lot of times when artists go through these types of trials and tribulations, a lot of times it makes for better music. Not always, but a lot of times it does. So I'm curious to see, you know, what it's going to be like if, you know, when he references, is he going to reference the nervous breakdown that he had allegedly? So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what comes of that. Also, in more entertainment news, Prince's family they're suing the Illinois hospital that treated him for his first opioid overdose. Prosecutors in Minnesota may not be charging anyone in the death of Prince, but his family is blaming the Illinois hospital that treated him for an opioid overdose the week before he died. Prince's heirs, under the name of a trustee, Michael A. Zimmer, filed a lawsuit against Trinity Medical Center on Monday, claiming the singer received improper medical care in the early morning hours of April 15th, 2016. Yeah, folks, it's been 2 years. I'm trying not to sound sad. I really am. After Prince's private plane made an emergency landing in Moline, Illinois, following a show in Atlanta. The suit claims that Prince's death was a direct and proximate cause of the hospital failing to appropriately diagnose and treat the overdose, as well as its failure to investigate the cause and provide proper counseling. So, this was reported to the New York Times. As previously reported, prosecutors believe that Prince had likely overdosed the week before on what he thought were prescription opioids like Vicodin, but were actually black market versions containing the much more powerful synthetic opioid. And that's a crazy, weird, demented name. Opioid. Fentanyl. Authorities determined that without knowing Prince most likely took a counterfeit drug containing fentanyl, again 6 days later at a home in Paisley Park, leading to his death at 57. Carver County prosecutors in Minnesota said they could not determine where exactly he had obtained the tainted drugs and declined to charge anyone in the death. The family's lawsuit names Trinity Medical Center, the Illinois hospital where Prince was treated, along with its parent companies. Also named is Nicole F. Mancha, a doctor who provided Prince care at the hospital, as well as an unidentified pharmacist or pharmacy employee that consulted in the care provided to Prince. The family is also suing Walgreens, charging its employees with dispensing narcotic prescription medications to the singer for an invalid medical purpose and failing to conduct the appropriate drug utilization review. Wow. Yeah. So that's going on. So, you know, may the family find peace in all of that and get down to the bottom of all this. It's just a crazy, weird, and bizarre situation that unfortunately happened. So rest in peace, Mr. Prince Rogers Nelson. So, I mean, when that story initially came out about him having to take an emergency landing, it was alleged later that when he went to the hospital, that the reason he allegedly left the hospital was because he couldn't get a private wing. Or a private room, so he decided to go home. That was alleged, so I don't know if that was actually the case. But with this lawsuit being filed, everything's going to come out in the open. So, Royce the 5'9", who was also a member of the hip hop rap group Slaughterhouse, addresses King Cricket's Slaughterhouse departure. King Cricket, his name formerly used to be Crooked I. A rapper. He states, I support anything he wants to do. With Book of Ryan on the way, Royce the 5'9"'s new forthcoming record. He also has an album out right now with DJ Premier in his Prime Part 2. Still, you know, this hasn't stopped Royce, from opening up about some recent things involving his group, Slaughterhouse. So yeah, King Crooked announced that he would be officially leaving the quartet, which also includes Royce, Joe Budden, and Joel Ortiz. During an Instagram PSA, Crooked addressed his decision, stating, "Peace all, I got a public service announcement. I'm no longer part of Slaughterhouse. I'm no longer a part of the collective. It ain't no beef. It's all love. I wish them dudes nothing but success. I mean that. Hopefully this means we can get some new music from Crooked, who has come a long way since the Death Row days." And I don't even know if his Death Row album ever came out. I'm going to look into that. Now, Royce has weighed in on Crook's decision, showing the homie respect and support in equal measure. When asked if Crooked's departure means that Slaughterhouse has officially broken up, Royce contemplates, "No, not officially. I guess we are now, but Crooked is my brother. Man, he's my brother. I support anything he wants to do, anything, and it's the same with all the other members, their family." As for the current fate of Slaughterhouse, it's anyone's guess. Royce seems more prolific than ever, and Joel occasionally drops music, but Joe Budden is retired. Now, with Crooked gone, it would seem that the Slaughterhouse era has come to an end. It's too bad we never got to hear Glass House. Who knows, maybe one day. So that's interesting. I didn't realize that Joe Budden had retired. So Slaughterhouse was a good group. I enjoyed their music. Royce da 5'9", also in more news, congratulates Eminem on 10 years clean and sober. So, wow, that's amazing. 10 years strong. Simply put, Royce da 5'9", a career pinnacle has brought him to this point. Book of Ryan is being lauded as a never say never feat of accomplishment, coming off his fair share of ups and downs. So, he states that his lifelong friend Eminem, it's been a work in progress. Royce was introduced to Eminem through the mutual friend Proof. They went to partner on and do Bad Meets Evil, but plans were shelved with Eminem's meteoric rise as a solo artist at the turn of the century. Nevertheless, they have remained close friends. Royce took a moment yesterday to congratulate Eminem on 10 years of sobriety. Eminem's battle with addiction has always been a strong current in his songwriting. The rapper nearly died from an accidental overdose in 2007. Eminem admitted that at his worst, he was capable of 40 to 60 Valium and 20 to 30 Vicodin per day. Wow. Eminem eventually checked himself into a rehab facility in 2008 and started on his 12-step program. Relapse, recovery, and revival are Eminem's account of the full ride. His song, Arose, off Revival, goes into particularly graphic details for those interested, if only as a cautionary tale. Congratulations, M. A decade is a lifetime of sobriety for a former addict. Here's to many more. And then, Royce put a tweet up, happy sobriety birthday to my mentor and Eminem. Keep fighting the good fight, homie. I love you for life. It's a very nice and positive thing to say. So, and congratulations, Eminem. Congratulations on being 10 years sober. That is an amazing accomplishment. We're very happy for you. So that's really cool. Michael Jackson's loafers from the Motown 25 rehearsal are up for sale. There's auction pics. You can see them. It says the black loafers worn by Michael Jackson during rehearsal for his iconic Motown 25 special in 1983 and possibly the show itself have moonwalked toward a Los Angeles-based auction block with an opening price of $10,000. Wow. The King of Pop wore the Florsheim Imperial leather shoes while running through his performance of Billie Jean for the TV special, according to the catalog description from GWS Auctions, who will put the shoes and several other pieces of Jackson's memorabilia up for sale on May 26th, a few months ahead of what would have been MJ's 60th birthday. Yeah. It's weird. He would have been 60. It's crazy. Anything related to Michael Jackson is extraordinary. And to have something so incredibly historical as these shoes worn by Michael when he first did that now famous moonwalk is beyond special. Bridget Cruz quoted, stated, owner of GWS Auctions. We are so very honored to be able to offer them at auction. The loafers are nice looking too. They kind of look like Stacey Adams. They were made from Florsheim, a Chicago company that was acquired by Milwaukee's Waco Group in 2002. According to the auction house, the loafers were owned by choreographer Lester Wilson, who said Jackson gave him the shoes in his dressing room after rehearsing with his brothers for the special. It's possible he also wore them during the performance, GWS said, since he reportedly referred to the pair as his magic shoes. They've been kept in wonderful condition for their age, though there are some evident signs of age on the soles, Cruz said. The loafers are marked Motown 25 and signed Michael Jackson on the soles in blue marker. One of the shows is also numbered Michael number 2. So that's amazing. So other Jackson items related for the auction include his red Christian Dior cardigan and his Swarovski studded riding helmet. So there it is. So folks, I'm dying to see how much all that stuff's going to go for, especially those loafers. So we'll see when we find out. Once again, you've been listening to Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast. I'm your host, Keith. Thank you so much for listening. Appreciate all of you out there, and I'll see you somewhere out in space.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.